And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal show. My name is Gabor, and I thought today we'll have a quick look at Guitar Rig 6. So, Native Instruments just released Complete 13, like the whole big package of all synths and all different types of plugins, like pretty much an all-in-one, everything you will ever need for music production bundle. And one of the new things is Guitar Rig 6. So, both Alex and I used to use Guitar Rig 4 when it first came out. We got this bundle back in the days that came with rig control, and was rig control with that, and we used it for gigs, and I used it quite extensively for recordings. There's actually, if you listen to that track that I've kind of released through DistroKid and that, I'll put a link to that below. At the end, there's they're quite sort of white panned, quite heavy guitars, but sort of quite low in a mix. But that's the Rammstein Rumfire amps, because I don't know, it just had that sort of sound that kind of worked with it. So if you hear these sort of kind of little bit distorted guitars, sort of that are quite panned, stereo panned, at the end of that track, that was me. That was that was me using Ramfire Guitar Rig 5. But now Guitar Rig 6 came out, and they said it'll be Native Instruments, being they, said that it's like a huge update. It looks completely different. So I thought, I just downloaded it. I have to say, the awesome people at Native Instruments gave me a free version of this. I'm not getting paid for this. I got a free version of this. And I thought, yeah, let's check it out. So this is kind of my first time looking at it. And I thought, we'll have a look at a bunch of presets. And then maybe see if we can kind of make up a patch ourselves. So I'm going to use, for this today, I'm going to use my 1981 Ibanez AS100, all clean. So the signal chain is basically, I'm going from this straight into the Audient ID44 interface, straight into Logic, and then that's used as a plugin in Logic, and without anything. So this is what it looks like now. So when you first turn it on, it looks just like this, and without any anything, it sounds like this. So this is just a clean, dry guitar sound. Once I turn the volume up, so let's check it out. So, I mean, it looks a little bit different. There's macros. Okay, so you can assign macros. You've got that pre-tape deck thing, so we can kind of record. It's almost like a looper. You can assign MIDI controller, or actually, that's something at some stage I'll check out if that still works. If you can still use that for it. You can kind of almost use it as a looper. We have a tuner. Let's see if I'm tuned. I am in tune. Okay, so you've got a tuner. You've got a metronome, so that you can set it to, I'm not doing this now. I mean, in Logic, it's just set to 120 BPM. That's sort of just a, whatever it comes with, unless you change the timing. But you can, it's linked to your DAW, so if you have any kind of drum loops or anything in there, it's linked to a grid. You can tap it as well with this, like a fingerprint looking thing, different time signatures for, let's just leave it all at that. What is this? Preset volume. Okay, so this is a volume. Okay, so you can change the volume for each preset. You've got a post tape deck, so it's the same thing. So you can either loop what's in front of all the effects and the amps and all that stuff, and then run it through everything, or you can do a post tape deck where it loops stuff, or you can you can load files into it too, so you can play along to tracks and all that sort of stuff. And then you have global effects. Okay, so that's up the top, and then you've got a bin, and this probably opens and closes what's down there. You can load things and all, but let's just have a look at. Okay, let's just look through here. So we've got, these are the presets, and there's lots. There's always a lot, and then you can kind of there's color coded things. What does that mean? I'm not sure. Input sources. Okay, so you can say you want guitars, keyboards, mix bus, because you can use it. You can use it quite good for. Like I have in the past used it for drum machines and stuff like that as well, and you can get some pretty cool effects running drum machines through, or synths through guitar amps and speaker cabinets and stuff. You can, different effects types. I mean, it's just different search things. And then you have the components. Okay, so these are all the blocks. And again, also you can say you just want to see all the amplifiers. So these are all the amplifiers. There's a couple of new ones, I think. There's a Chicago seems new. I think the ones that says ICM up the top. I'm not sure what ICM stands for, but I think they're probably new ones. There's a Ramfire, Rammstein. I did quite like that. That's an amp I used quite a bit, you know, for recordings. Different cabinets. You've got Control Room and Control Room Pro. So you can, Control Room, you have one cabinet, usually a matched cabinet, but you can change it. Control Room Pro, you have a cabinet and you have a bunch of different microphones. You can blend them together. You can have delays and echoes. The psych delay, I always like the tape echoes, great on there. Different distortions, the cat, the big fuzz, the demon, that's one I quite like. Digital lo-fi, that's pretty cool. Oh, and then you've got a dirt on there, that's a separate plugin as well. We'll have a look through all that sort of stuff. But for now, let's go back to presets and let's just go the very first one up the top. Ooh, curated. What does that mean? Oh, okay, so it's curated now. So that's the way that kind of wants you to go through it. High gain breather. Okay, so let's turn it on. Let's have a look. So it looks like a Marshall kind of thing with that ICM. I'm not sure what ICM is. I haven't looked into it. These sort of first impression videos, I always try to go into it without knowing what I'm doing. This is just a first look, just so you can see what it's like. You've got the cabinet. So what you can do, so you've got this is the amp, and you can probably change bits here. Yeah, so there's sort of a bunch of presets here. You can click on it here. Okay, so init, I guess initial maybe. High gain, crunch, almost clean. Then you've got the speaker cabinet, which is the matched cabinet, and it can go, this is sort of a slider, so you can get closer to the cab or more room sound. And then you have two different variations of that as well with the volume and an EQ. But hang on, let's close this. So this is the actual preset, because there are changes to it. So this is what it actually sounds like. Sounds cool, sounds Marshall-y. So there's an EQ and that, and then see if you go, for example, if you move that to more room. Or you can have it more close mic'd with no room at all, but it's always nice to have a little bit of room ambience. Just gives it a bit of air. That's cool. The other thing I got to say, and I did it straight away, you can resize this window. So you can go up to 200%, and I like that. I'm old, I need it big. Depending on the screen size and stuff, it's full screen now, and it looks great. So, all right, so that's high gain breather. Let's check out a few more. Basic Chicago. So that's got a Vc2a 1176 style by Soft Tube. That's cool. Compressor, which you've got a dry mix there as well, which is always nice, I think, to have. I always find it just gives, if you can put a bit of dry into it, it gives nicer attack. So this looks like just a 2 volume and tone. Maybe, I don't know, Supro kind of style amp, I'm just going to say. And you've got normal and mod. Sounds good to me. Metalcore stereo. Just go through a few. Van 51. I wonder what that is. On the rhythm channel here, leads channel there. So one of the cool things with Guitar Rig, which used to be in the older versions too, and I'm sure it's gotten even better here, is you've got these crazy routing options. I mean, this is fairly straightforward. So you've got A and B. So I guess you've got one panned left, one panned right. Yeah, see, one pans to the left, hard one pan to the hard pan to the right. The crossfader is ever so slightly more to amp A, so that's a little bit more dominant than amp B. But yeah, and then you can route things with cool effects and all that stuff. So this is just sort of a gainy. Sounds good. Creamy snowflakes. That sounds good to me. That's just lovely. Now, listen to this with headphones on, if you can. That psych delay, that's been in previous versions as well, and that's just lovely. It's sort of like a pitch delay, and you can really set what pitch you want it to be. Raum, which is that sort of quite nice, relatively new, I think, really massive reverb. So it's here as well. So you've got a 1176. That's a cool thing with this. You can add so much stuff to it, and we're using 14% up here. I hope you can sort of see it. 14% of the 13% of CPU. So it's not super CPU intensive, and there's quite a lot of stuff there. So we're splitting it, and channel A gets the psych delay, the cat. Well, it's not on actually. The rat distortion, that reverb, and then channel B gets the psych delay as well, more cat, that's on. So one side's on, one side's off, the distortion, and another reverb, which looks almost the same. And then you've got that split mix, hard pan, light, right, left, and then you've got another reverb after it for both. So... So once you turn the cat thing up, it gets quite fizzy because there's no amp here. So this is ampless, so this is just a straight direct sound, which can be quite cool with these big effects. AC Tremolo, next. So you've got an AC Vox style amp with a Vc2a compressor, which compresses quite heftigly. Heftigly, is that a word? Hefty, quite hefty compression. So you can really feel it and hear it even. And I mean, if you look at the VU meter thing, there's some serious compressing going. We've got, again, it's splitting into one side, goes into this vintage verb with an amp, spring amp reverb. Then it has a solid EQ. So then you can minimize and make these things bigger on the other side. Side B goes into a Tweedman. So is side A not going to a... No, so one side's direct by the looks of it. And side B goes into this Tweedman cabinet. And then it goes into another effect, another EQ, and then into this stereo tune thing. That sounds cool. Jittery Octave. So this is obviously not for guitar. Again, there's no amp here. There's a Memory Man type thing, a grain delay, which is cool, and you've got that Tractors stuff. There's some effects you can use from Tractor, which is that sort of more synthy kind of side of the things. Some pretty cool stuff. Tied Vintage Ramfi. Now this is the kind of stuff I used to use, the Rammstein. the Tube Screamer. Oh, gain's not even all the way up. Come on. Yeah. Okay. There's tons of presets, but they all sound kind of cool. Flare Arpeggiator. Cool stereo effects again. So you've got an analog sequencer here. I don't think it really matters. Can you set a key somewhere? Or key pitch. Spooky choir. Again, a lot of them aren't really necessarily meant for guitar. Okay, let's skip a few because there's tons. Broken Heart Fuzz. Might be clipping some stuff there. It's cool. I don't know. Amp Buoyancy. I'm just, like I said, just randomly looking at some presets. These reverb's going forever. But one of the cool things, so this is one of the cool things with this, is you can modulate anything. So if you look in here, this is the tone of the amp, but you can sort of see how that thing is moving there. So it's been modulated. So there's an LFO here. So this LFO, by the looks of it, is modulating the tone on the amp. So that's one of the really cool things with Guitar Rig. You can pretty much make things move around in any way you want, modulate anything in any way you want. It's quite vast in the kind of sounds you can get out of this thing. Fat Dirt. So this is a plugin called Dirt, which you can use as a kind of standalone plugin as well. And it's two drives kind of cascading into each other. So let's crank the drive. Sounds cool to me. Okay, wide and crunchy. Sounds great. Let's see what else is in there. 80s Stadium Rig. This one's for RJ. something like that. Can't play too right because then I get copyright strikes. Amp Pig. Oh, bass. So there's lots of bass sounds in here as well. Pretty much anything. 12-bit blues. So Bytes, this is another one of those kind of cool, like you can use it as a standalone kind of thing as well. So you can change how many bits and the frequencies, and it's like a bit crusher, but it works quite well as a bit crusher. So you can give it less bit if you want. Oh, yeah, the other way. You've got the mix fairly. Third Son. Let's just look at a couple more. So you've got step sequences here, you've got a gratifier amp, two different amps, a Marshall style and a boogie style. And you've got this harmonic synthesizer, which I think is kind of like that. I think the idea behind it is it's kind of like the micro synth by, is it micro synth? Is that what it's called? That thing. Oh, by Electro-Harmonix. Because the controls are pretty much the same. But again, you can sort of see these sort of blue lines, and it's been modulated by, I think, I'm gonna say, these there's sequences and step sequences and stuff like that here that are most likely what modulated. So it's pretty cool, I think. Okay, let's. Oh, there's so many. Let's go somewhere way low. Clear ambience. So that's definitely not for guitar. Let's go input sources. Let's go for guitar. Let's go, I don't know, basic fire breather. Marshall sort of sound. Basic rumfire. I like that amp. Holy moly, there's a lot of bass. Okay, there's so many presets. We're not going to get through half of them, but let's go to Dirty Octave Solo. That's cool. I like that. So you've got two octaves, one octave down, two octaves down. The first octave down is an escalator. The second octave down is an elevator. I like that. Is it polyphonic? Not really, no. Gotta say, latency and tracking is great. Actually, where do you check that? Here? Let's have a look. What is the latency set to? General, MIDI. Oh, it's not in here. Okay, well, whatever latency set to, it's great. Okay, let's go Plexi Rotor Room. Okay, so this is set to the slow setting, Leslie. Sounds good. Let's do one more. And then, because otherwise this is going to go on for too long. Lots of rum fire. But I won't bore you with all my rum fire. Let's go something. Let's find something. Effects type. Characters. Complex. Quantized morphs. What is that? Okay, let's find something else. Deep grain. Now that's just lovely. All right, let's try and do something ourselves. Like let's put a preset together. Okay, so let's do our own preset now. So I think the easiest way usually to do is you go new. Okay, so this is the Superfun test. Superfun test, let's call it. Okay, so now what do we want? Let's start off with an amp. I reckon. So we need components. Now you're on amplifiers. So I like somewhat cleanish sort of things. Let's go for that Chicago. I quite like that. That sounded kind of cool. Okay. Oh, and one of the things I want to try out. One of the things I want to try out is also using different cabinets. So we're using now the guitar rig cabinet. So that's just the sound you get. Let's have a look what you get here. So here you get bright, bright. Let's go bright because this is quite a dark guitar. Quite like that sound. So let's just keep it super simple, right? Now, let's go, we've got 80% cabinet, 80% room. Let's have a look. So let's try different, so these are the different cabinets as well we can try and use. So what if we use, I don't know, let's use something completely different. Like, what about a Tweedman? That's possibly 4x10. Okay, so let's just keep it at that Chicago one. That sounds quite good to me. Okay, so now, what do I want? I want maybe some reverb. Let's go... Should I go for something kind of more ambient, or should I... Let's go vintage verb. So let's stick the vintage verb maybe in between the cabinet and the amp. Hang on, let's see. Let's turn it bright. Let's see what the normal mode is on mod. I probably like normal better. That reverb sounds great. Studio reverb. Let's go to that next. Dual reverb. probably like the silver long. Let's go back to silver long, plate reverb. I quite like that. Now, that's there. Okay, let's just say that works. Now I want to put some in front of it, maybe to boost it a little bit, to kind of give it a bit more of a, you know, well, let's try gain booster. Let's put that in front of the amp. Kind of makes it darker. Maybe we need the bright now. Sounds pretty good, just to hit the front end of the amp a bit more, maybe give it a bit more, tone up a bit, just to brighten it up a bit. It's not that sort of amp, it's a more girthy amp, but let's just leave it at that. A little bit of boost is fine. And then I also want a distortion pedal in front of that I can turn on and off. So let's go for, oh no, I want fuzz. Don't need distortion. Let's grab that. That goes in front of the gain. Cool, I'm digging that. It's maybe a little loud, let's turn it down. Cool, I like that. So we've got fuzz, which I can turn on and off if I want to. Let's put some delay there. I like that tape echo. So again, a tape echo, maybe let's put that before the reverb but after the amp. Sounds killer. Okay, so these are some presets here. Let's go. Let's do some slap. Maybe let's do a bit more longer one. Like, what about a slow and fast? Is that a I quite like that. That'll sound good clean too. If I turn the fuzz off, more of a that sounds good. Okay, I quite like that. What about an auto filter? Okay, I don't know. Let's just see how we go with that. So let's put that, come on, let's put that first. We want to duck. More sensitivity. Less sensitivity. That doesn't seem to really work, does it? Resonating. Maybe that sounds quite good, just with the sensitivity up a bit. Bit more. So I've got that too. Now let's do that with the fuzz. That's cool. I quite like that sound. So that's that. What about I don't know, modulation? Let's add some modulation. I want some electric lady. Let's do some electric lady. Let's put that in a loop as well. Let's put it after, in between the amp. Actually, let's be crazy. Let's put it after the delay. It's quite a big, wide sort of sound. Let's see what the presets are. Space flanger. This instantly sort of 80s, early 90s. And let's put a tremolo in there as well. We need a tremolo. Every good household needs a tremolo. And we put the tremolo... come on. Put the tremolo here. Oh yeah, stereo. Cool effect. Okay, and then just lastly, let's just turn on the fuzz. I mean, I could go on for hours and hours, and this is meant to be a quick first look, and it's already, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, but I think it's pretty cool. So it's like always with Guitar Rig, it's Native Instruments, it's sort of limitless what they do. They give you, it's almost option paralysis a lot of times, but it's, I think it's really, really cool. I've been a fan, like I said, I've been a fan of Guitar Rig since Guitar Rig 4, I think. That's when we bought this sort of package deal with this. I've used this at gigs. Alex even used it. He had presets for electric guitar, presets for acoustic guitar. He used it for everything for a while. When I first met him, actually, he was using that. And we got onto that through our mutual friend and friend of the show, Ben. I always call him the last shredder. Ben McGregor. Hi Ben, by the way, if you're watching. So he got us onto that actually. He said I remember him ringing me, Ben, saying they're doing. It was like I think it was half price or 70% off or something like that. They always do. If you get on the Native Instruments mailing list, they always do crazy specials, you know, and I think it was either 50, 60, 70% off, something like that, for that with software, and free shipping worldwide. And I remember Ben ringing me going, buy it. And I said, what is it? And he goes, don't worry, just buy it. And I did, and I haven't looked back. Like I said, I've used it since. I've used Guitar Rig 4, I've used Guitar Rig 5, I've used Native Instruments, and I'm not just saying this because they gave, Native Instruments gave me Guitar Rig 6 and gave me pretty much complete 13. I've had complete before that, so I think I skipped 12, but I had complete 11 Ultimate because I use it a lot. Their synthesizer sounds, the drum machines, everything they do, the quality is insanely good, and I used it a lot for recordings. So big thank you to the awesome people at Native Instruments. This was just the first impressions. There'll be full videos with this coming up. I think I'm going to try and do a track sort of with Guitar Rig and a bunch of Native Instrument stuff, so maybe stay tuned for that. Big thank you to the awesome people at Native Instruments. Hope you like it, and if you like what we do, why not subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know, have you used Guitar Rig in the past? Are you using Guitar Rig 6 now? Also, there'll be shootouts, so I'm going to do a shootout between Guitar Rig and Amplitube, and possibly also some of the Brainwork stuff, so stay tuned for all that. Awesome, thank you so much, see you next time, bye.